In this demonstration, we're going to do three things. We're going to create a rating model, we're going to import the gaugings from your gaugings file, and we're going to add three curves to that rating model and set their start and end dates. So first of all, let's create that rating. So I'll select your location, use Location Manager, switch to the Datasets tab, choose New Rating Curve. I'll set the label, description and comment. I'll set the input parameter to stage in meters and the output parameter to discharge in cubic meters per second. I'll save that and exit Location Manager. And now if I go to Datasets on my location, there's my rating model. It has the yellow triangle because I have not set any dates for any curves in that model. We're going to fix that in just a few minutes here. Next, let's import all your field visits. Let's use the field visit tool for that. And let's go to the New menu, choose Field Visit from File, Delimited File, because your file was a text file with comma-separated values. And I've just saved it onto my computer here. There's your file. We'll open that. Now there's another training video on the AQUARIUS 360 support portal which goes over this procedure in more detail. I'll go fairly quickly through it here, although you'll see it's not terribly difficult. We're going to tell it to start at the third row of the file, but I still want to look at those first two rows. And now column by column we'll tell it what to do. For the first column here, we will choose date and time. And this format's fairly similar, except we will only need a 2-digit year and we don't have the time. So I'll delete that. Choose this as the start date for the visit. That should be fine. We're going to skip that column. This column is data. Stage in meters. This column is also data. It is discharge in cubic meters per second. This column and this last column we will skip. To make it easier to import files like this in the future, I'm going to save my format specification to a file. I'll hit the dots up here next to config file and tell it to save it to that file. There we go. And now we will import. And it'll take a few moments. And now that it's finished, we see that all of our gaugings from the present going back to those ones in 1965 have all been loaded in, and under each one we have the stage discharge and water velocity. Let's choose Save Field Visit and Exit to save all our work back to the database. And that will take a few moments as well. If we refresh our list, we'll see it creates time series for those visits as well. So far we've created an empty model. We haven't put any equations in it yet though. We've imported all our gaugings. Now let's create the ratings inside this and actually put our equations in there and assign their start and end dates. So with that rating model selected, I'll load the rating development tool. And you can see in here, it's already plotting all of the gaugings that we just imported. They're listed in the field visit table here, and you can sort them. Now you had 3 ratings, A, B, and C. I'm going to create all of those right now. I'll go to the File menu and choose New. I'll call this Rating A, and I'll set the approval level. And we're going to choose the standard equation option. And if we now switch to the rating tab, I can put in my equation here. Notice the form up here. So the multiplier for the first one was 5.975161108. I'm just reading off of your spreadsheet here. For the offset value, you had minus 3.56. And for the exponent, you had 2.8. And you can see that's plotting now in the rating zoom windows. So let's go ahead and create rating B now. File, New, Rating B. Approved, standard equation. And you'll see we now have a second rating next to the A rating. We have a B rating. Again, let's go to the Rating tab, put the equation in here. Okay, that looks right. And finally, let's add the third rating, rating C. This one I'll give a lower approval level because maybe you haven't finished revising that one, as it's still in effect this year. Rating tab. Okay. Why don't we save our work so far, now that we've got rating A in there, rating B, and rating C. Let's save all that. File, save to output ports. And it says to me, no rating period was set. Do you want to continue? It's telling me that I haven't set the dates on any of those ratings. I'm going to save anyways. And now let's go ahead and put those dates in. You'll notice that I already have displayed here the Rating Period Manager. That's this tab down here. So if that's not visible on your computer, just select it. And you'll see in that list I have a line, at least one line, for each of the ratings that I've set up. There's my A, B, and C ratings. Let's choose that A rating, double-click that line, and now I'm going to set the rating period, which is the start and end dates basically. So I'll click that box, and now I'm going to just put in the dates from your spreadsheet in here. So this is 1958, January 1st. set that to approved. And we'll put the end date in as 1966, November 22nd. And now you can see that rating A has its start and end date listed in the table here. We'll do the same for rating B. And again for rating C. We'll set the rating period. This one I'll leave at a lower approval level because we haven't approved rating C yet. And for this one, I'm not going to set the end date yet. I could if I wanted to, but because this one is still in effect right now, I can leave the end date blank, which tells the software that you should just keep using this rating until further notice. Notice in my table here that it's highlighted some gaps in which there is no rating defined. So you may want to adjust the start and end dates of your ratings A, B, and C to, have the end date be the same as the start date so that you don't have gaps like that. I was just reading the dates off of your spreadsheet, but I think you may want to adjust those a little bit. But now that we have our 3 rating equations in here, all with dates, if we go ahead and save this, we don't get that warning anymore. And if I close my toolbox and save and just refresh my list by clicking the refresh button, you'll see that that little yellow triangle is gone from my list, which says that this rating model is will actually work now if I use it to set up a derived discharge calculation. That's a subject for another video or another tutorial, but I think we've at least covered how to create a rating model and set the start and end dates for it. I hope this was helpful.